Hey everyone, I wanted to do a YouTube video on my experience with Lexapro. When I was first doing research on Lexapro and antidepressants, SSRIs, I looked to YouTube for a lot of guidance, just hearing other people's stories. So I really wanted to share mine. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail because it's a long story, and I wanted to keep this pretty brief, but I do want to share what my experience, just kind of like the bullet points of what my experience has been like these past 6 months. So I started taking Lexapro. I had my first dose of, okay, no, let me backtrack. My doctor prescribed me 10 milligrams. Thankfully, I spoke to a friend who was already taking Lexapro and she suggested I cut the pill in half to take 5 milligrams. She told me that, it's better to start low and just see how your body does, right? I'm so thankful I listened to her advice because my very first dose back in February of 2025 was 5 milligrams and I felt the side effects right away. They were really intense, and I just didn't know if I would be able to continue because of the intensity of the side effects. The side effects I felt right away were just nausea, acid reflux. I felt extreme fatigue in my body, thirst, dry mouth. It was like my body was very tired, but my brain was very active. I had other side effects over the months, but those were, I would say, the main ones. The body fatigue was really intense as well. So I knew that in order to continue with Lexapro, and I wanted to give it the 4 to 6 weeks to see if it would help me because I really needed the help. In order to continue, I felt like I needed to cut it down further to 2.5 milligrams. And I'm so glad I did because that was the only way that I could just give my body a chance to adjust to the Lexapro. So I did 2.5 milligrams for about 3 weeks. I was very scared, by the way, to start this medication. So if any of you are out there considering starting an SSRI, but you're afraid of the side effects of, what could happen, that's going to be the case with any medication you try. And hey, sometimes even with any kind of natural remedies, anything can have a side effect. Um, I just like to tell people just think about why you want or you feel you need an SSRI antidepressant. Um, for me, I was dealing with a very severe anxiety disorder, agoraphobia, panic disorder, and depression. So I knew I needed medication. I just got to a point where my body just couldn't function. I didn't know how to function on a day to day basis. I was completely shut down. So that's the reason why I decided to start on medication. And let me tell you something, no regrets. And let me just say this, I know medications are not for everyone. I know Lexapro is not for everyone. Thankfully, it ended up being for me. Um, and I'm just putting that out there because you're not gonna know what's for you until you try it. So speak to your doctor, look into options, do some research. But let me tell you something with respect to any kind of SSRI, SNRI, it's gonna be a mixed bag of reviews because some things work for some that don't work for others. Lexapro has been amazing for me, and I have read many comments where it just wasn't effective for some people, or a lot of people. So just because Lexapro may not be for you doesn't mean you give up. You keep looking for what is going to be for you, but give it the best chance that you can. So usually they say the 4 to 6 week window on any particular dose is how you'll know if that dose is for you, if it's going to be effective, if it's working. So I knew I had to give it 4 to 6 weeks. I dosed up from the 2.5 milligrams only because my first goal was to try the 5 milligrams. Because ultimately with Lexapro, they say that the therapeutic dose begins at 10 milligrams, which is why most doctors will start you off on 10 milligrams. Um, Thankfully, I worked my way up slowly. So the next step was the 5 milligrams. Once I got on 5 milligrams, I did start to feel the benefits pretty quickly. Now, being on Lexapro I'm going to say the first month was challenging with the side effects, but the side effects got like less and less intense the higher up I went in dosage. And every dose I spent at least 4 weeks on. Like, I'm gonna say 2 to 4 weeks, depending on which dose I was. I went up by 2.5 milligrams. So started at 2.5, then 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, and now I'm all the way up to 20 milligrams of Lexapro. By 10 milligrams is when I really started to feel the actual relief, and I really noticed a difference in the way my body handled anxiety. So I thought 10 milligrams would be my dose. And trust me when I tell you, I was very scared to keep dosing up. Um, but I knew after the 4 weeks on 10 milligrams that it wasn't going to be effective enough for me. So I knew my next milestone was going to be 15 milligrams. To be honest, for me, I hate cutting pills. So I knew it was either going to be 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, 15, or 20, because it's just easier to consume versus like those half doses like 2.5, 7.5, etc. I did not want to be dealing with cutting pills because those doses are not accurate. So I knew once I hit 10, the next milestone was 15. I hit the next milestone, 15 milligrams. 15, I would say, was like, it was a good sweet spot, right? But by the time I got to 15, I was like, I need a lot more help with my agoraphobia. Thankfully, the panic attacks are like non-existent. The anxiety is minimal, but I still deal with the anxiousness from the agoraphobia aspect. So I knew for me, I wanted to give myself the opportunity to try 20 milligrams to see what the 20 milligrams would do for me. I just figured if 15 milligrams was good, then 20 would maybe be even better, right? I'm glad I did it, because once I reached 20, I just felt like I hit, like I got to the end of a race, so to speak, you know? Now, I'm not saying I'm completely cured, because Lexapro is not a miracle cure. But what it does is it gives you a chance to live life without that constant terror, that constant doom. I mean, if you deal with an anxiety disorder, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I have so much more relief because what I feel Lexapro does for me is that it serves as a buffer. And ever since the 10 milligrams, the buffer has just gotten like more padding, so to speak. So there's less reaction time when I do feel triggered with anxiety. There's and by the way, I know a lot of people say that like sometimes they feel checked out. Again, everybody is different. So I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. I still have emotions. I do not have any sexual dysfunction, thankfully. I um I have not gained weight. Now it has become harder for me to lose weight, but I haven't gained weight. Um and there's other medications you can take if you need help, like with like whether weight loss or whatever the case. So um yeah, I just feel like if you are struggling with anxiety, panic, and you feel like you're not able to live life, like my quality of life was like just completely just it just wasn't livable. I was surviving. If you are ready to take a step to give your body some relief and actually feel some sense of normalcy, like I can't say that I will ever feel like 100% normal again, but this has really helped me at least like get closer to that sense of normalcy that I used to feel prior to the disorder. So I just wanted to share my thoughts. I think I will be doing more of these videos. I want to go into like my side effects that I've experienced and things like that, but I just wanted to share my 2 cents on Lexapro and my experience with Lexapro. So I am currently on 20 milligrams. My total time on Lexapro has been about 7 months. And yeah, I'm past the six week point on 20 milligrams, and I know like this is it for me. It's amazing. So I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life, to be honest with you. So yeah, if you have any doubts, like just do some research. And honestly, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm down to answer anything. So thank you so much for watching, and good luck with your journey.